Hey guys, it's Lock Lovin' Yogini here, and I've gotten a couple of questions in my inbox about, my hair care journey and what maintenance techniques I use and how often I maintain and all that kind of good stuff. So I decided I'll just go ahead and make a video about it and knock it all out at once. So, a brief history of my hair. I started my natural journey back in 2011. So I had about a year of growth between, trimming off my relaxed ends and transitioning into my natural hair and locking in January of 2012. In January, if I were to like press my hair, it probably would have been to about here. So I was really surprised that when I locked it, my hair was like to here. I had little teeny tiny baby dreads and they came to about my chin. Some were even shorter than that. So I started my locks using palm rolling. Well, no, let me go back. She did like the little coils using the rat tail comb first, and then we maintained with palm rolling for the next 6 months. That was a really hard way for me to start. So after the first 6 months, I decided that I wanted to try interlocking, and that was the best decision that I think I've ever made with my hair. Because with interlocking, the roots, they stay a bit tighter longer. So whether you get it wet, wash it, run around in the ocean, do whatever you want to do, you're going to get out of the water and your hair is going to look just as great as it did when you first interlocked it, at least for a couple of weeks. So that was really great. That worked out really well for me. And I still interlock to this day. I would say that I go to my salon and have it done every 3 months, about. I don't think I've ever gotten further than 3.5 months as far as that kind of maintenance. So what do I do in between? Because in between that first time that you get it, interlocked and it's all fresh and fabulous, and then, 3.5 months later, I'm washing it and doing all kinds of crazy stuff in between. So what I decided to do in cases of emergencies, like if I have something I have to do for work functions and I need to look a little more polished because I work kind of in a corporate setting, I will palm roll in between. The last time that I had my hair interlocked was, I think I'm coming up on my 3 months now, actually. I want to say it was in the beginning of the year back in January. And so ever since then, I haven't done anything to it. So I'll go through the method that I use when I'm doing palm rolling and twisting in between interlocking. I personally don't ever interlock my hair because it's too time consuming and my shoulders and my arms hurt and I hate it. So I'd rather have someone else do it. But for the twist in between, that's not too bad. It's pretty easy maintenance and I can usually knock it out in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half if I'm being really thorough. So what I do first, shampoo, condition. I leave my conditioner in for maybe like 3 minutes. I try not to leave it in too long because I don't want it to make my hair too soft because that would defeat the purpose of having locks. But I'll shampoo and condition first, and then I'll go through it with my oil of choice. So there's two that I've been using. In my last video, I mentioned that I use this one, the olive oil by California Olive Ranch. Highly recommend it. It's been great for me. And I've also tried this one. I don't know if you can see that one, but I think it's kukui oil. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But this one's been really great as far as keeping my hair from getting really frizzy. Okay, so about my maintenance technique. As I mentioned, in between interlocking, I'll palm roll. So I go through my hair while it's, right after the shower, while it's still wet. And I'm going to undo one really quick just to show you guys. So this is the state of my hair right now. From here to here is all new growth. It's all nice and fluffy. So right when I get out of the shower, I separate my parts, the best that I can by myself. And I will take a little bit of my favorite oil, which right now is olive oil. So I'll take a little bit of olive oil, take a little bit of tea tree gel, which honestly, guys, I don't even think I bought this. I think my father-in-law left it at the house when they moved out, and I tried it once and I loved it, so I just kept it. But I'll take a little bit of that mixed with olive oil, and I'll place it here like at the root, and then I just roll. And then once I have it nice and tight to the desire that I want it, I don't do my hair too tight because I don't like to cause breakage or anything like that. So I still leave it a little loose. But then I'll just clip it in place with one of these bad boys, and then I move through my entire hair. I usually start from one side to the other, and then I do from the back and then up, just because I'm weird and that's the way that I like to do it. I get these little things at a beauty supply store. I wanted to say that one box of, let me see how many is in here. A box of 80 costs like $4, so that wasn't too bad. And they last forever. And they have 2 different sizes. If you don't want tons of these little ones in your hair, which I generally don't like because they can get kind of painful, especially if you're gonna lay down afterwards or something. These little things are like Satan. They're horrible. You just don't want to lay on these. So I use the bigger ones sometimes, which these actually look like they would be worse because they have like these little sharp points on the end, like you're gonna do some real damage. But it's actually better because you can fit 5 to 7 locks of my size into one of these little clips, and you just stick it in your hair, and you only have, you know, maybe 2 or 3 rows, and it's just easier. I think it's easier to work with if you just have a couple of these instead of like a million of the little ones. These, I think, came like 8 in a pack for like $1, maybe $2. So it's a little more expensive to get the bigger ones, but I think that it's a little more comfortable to wear them too. Anyway, so long story short, wash, condition, use a little teeny bit of gel with your oil, apply it to your roots, palm roll, pin it down, and then just let it air dry naturally. I rarely ever put my hair under heat from a dryer or anything like that, just because it does dry out your hair even more, and I already have a problem with my hair being pretty dry. So I always let my hair air dry. And I try not to sleep on it wet either, because, well, I actually can't find any right now. But if you sleep on your locks while they're wet, it kind of presses them down, and you can get some parts of your lock that become really flat instead of being that nice sort of cylinder shape. So avoid sleeping on them while they're wet if you can, and just let them air dry. And if you have to, air dry as much as you can, and then just finish up under a dryer before bed. So that technique has been pretty helpful. It's what I used recently. And it's really good when you're in a quick fix and, you know, you're in between interlocking and you don't have time to make it to a salon, but you need to look, you know, all nice and organized for whatever it is you're doing, if it's an event or something like that. So if you have any other questions about my hair maintenance and techniques, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as I can. Thanks. Have a good one.